Hi, Celine. I think you're the first one in. I'm just waiting for a few to come in. A few minutes early, so. Sorry, guys, 1 minute.
Now, which I'm on medicine, and I don't got the fucking gun. If they do the research.
Shit, I knew there was going to be that tonight.
With a camera that puts you in control. Fix your photos with Magic Eraser. Night sight, so your camera can see in the dark. And real tone to bring out the real beauty of all skin.
Sorry, everyone.
All the magic of Pixel for just $3.99.
I'm going to bear with me. What the hell is going on? I think my computer is just going mad. Hello, everyone. Hello, True Purpose. A long gone, hope forever. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. So, I am going to have, after tonight, I am just going to have 2 nights off. Just to kind of reboot myself a little bit because I've been a little bit I'm okay, everyone. I'm perfectly fine, but I'm a little bit kind of behind in work and I need to get things done. So I'm gonna have 2 days off and just completely reboot myself and come back a bit fresher. So yeah, I wanted to say that. I've been painting away today, so I'm absolutely covered. So I'm not even gonna show myself. But I just wanted to say, again today, I've had a few emails come in again today from really nice, really nice. Yeah, it can hope forever. It can take a toll on the brain, but I think with everything that's been going on just lately, I think I'm very artistic and gone. I think I just need to step back for a moment and reboot. I have to go. I'm actually at the hospital tomorrow, and it's normally. I'm just going to shut the door 1 second. Yeah, the hospital normally takes a bit of a toll. Hello, Celine. It can take a little bit of a toll on my mental health. Today, I mean, I've been actually faulting with myself today. So I really do. I need to go to the doctors tomorrow. I do. I'm not sure how much I've got. I don't think I've got a lot on the computer because this is my new computer, but I'll get some downloaded and I can show you guys a lot of my artwork. I do a lot of commission work and stuff, but I do a lot for charity as well, for charity auctions and that kind of thing. I've done quite a few exhibitions as well here in Derry, which was just before the lockdown, before COVID had started. What are you looking for, son? Excuse me. Continue. I can't because I don't know what you do. Can you? What? Did you want it? Just wait till I come. Just wait till I finish, please, love. Can you shut the door? Thank you very much. Sorry, guys. Yeah, well, I'm with a psychiatrist tomorrow, and it can get a bit tough after I come back from that, because it's normally hypnotherapy or something like that. That, you know, it's a 2-hour appointment, so it can be quite draining. No, the shipping's not too bad to America, as long as if I send it framed, it's expensive. But if I just send the blank canvas out, you know, just the painting on canvas, and put it in a roll, it's not that expensive really. I'll find out, and you can have a look. But I do a lot of you know, I do a lot, like I say, a lot for charity, and I work with kids teaching, and you know, that kind of stuff. I think that's because I have sold quite a few in America already. I've been selling, you know, my art's been selling for years and years. But I have sent quite a few over to Canada and America, and it's not been that expensive. I think the shipping's been about, it works out about $12 or something like that. It's not too bad. Yeah. So yeah, I'll get some of my work displayed, but normally I kind of go off commission work. I do a lot of commission work. I've just been a bit backlogged, so I've been getting that done today. And I say I'm at the hospital tomorrow, and I know when I get back out tomorrow, my head's gonna be kind of all over. And I've been fighting with myself today as well. So that's not really good. But I did notice, I don't know what happened last night, but today I noticed that my medication was left on the table. I never forget to take my medication. And I think somebody must have come forward last night, and I didn't take my medication, and I think I was up most of the night. I don't know. I was quite confused when I did, you know, wake up this morning. I woke up at normal time, but I felt like I hadn't slept. What I tend to do during the night is I leave a notebook and a pen around, and sometimes I'll wake up and I get a couple of pages out of a notebook, you know, some sort of writing, or sometimes pictures and stuff. It just depends. But I think this past couple of days as well, I've just really been missing Angela. You know. Excuse me. I think it's starting to hit home a little bit that, you know, I can feel that, but I'm not going to be able to, you know, we're not going to be able to do what we've ever done before again. And that's really hard. It's really hard. So, today I've been fighting with myself a little bit. And I think last night I lost control of myself a little bit, but nothing was serious. As I say, it's a weird thing that happens. You know, sometimes somebody can come forward and you wouldn't know the difference, you know. It's just when it actually takes over me, that's when it's hard. Sometimes I can let them come forward, and you know, it's a talk, you know, and they can talk for me and stuff. But then sometimes they just take over, and I've been lost sometimes for weeks. It's been crazy, and it's just like you're lost inside your own head, and somebody else is controlling your body. It's weird. But that happens when I'm not medicating myself properly, but I am properly medicated. So as long as I do that, that doesn't happen too much. But when that severe kind of trauma hits, I kind of start to lose it a little bit, you know. I think instinctively, that's when, you know, the other personalities will step in, because that's the way I protect myself. Apparently, that's how it works. But a lot of the time, people don't even notice. They don't notice the difference. I have what I know of, what the ones I know. Yeah, I'll put these up. So I know six. I know six of them, and but the doctor seems to think that there's a lot more. That kind of hide in the back. It's weird. I can't really explain it. I mean, sometimes I hear a lot of different people talking, but it's all. It's not like I hear it coming out the television or out the radio or anything. I can't explain it. It's like channeling a radio sometimes, and you have to kind of channel until the right one kind of, you know, the ones that I know of, there's only one out of the ones I know of that's quite harmful. And she only really comes out if I was to drink, or maybe take something that would, you know, alter my thinking as such. It doesn't happen with like weed or anything like that, but you know, I know when I was younger, we kind of all experiment, and I'd take an acid or something crazy like that, you know, and I had that would be it for days. But during severe trauma, I get lost in myself, and then I can be, you know, in hospital for a week and not know what's going on, you know, and sometimes it's hard to find my own way back, you know. That's not happened for quite a while now. But I think this past couple of years has been probably the hardest, even after everything I've been through, because you know, the trauma that I went through before I say my 30s, kind of, it doesn't feel like it ever happened to me. It felt like I was watching it outside my own body. I don't have feelings about that at all, because, you know, when my personality split, people came forward and it wasn't me that it was happening to. So I don't have a lot of, I don't, you know, that kind of trauma. Then this is what I mean. Your personalities can just keep splitting as many times as they need to, you know, and then you'll have, they call them the dominant alters, I suppose, and sometimes, you know, people merge. You know, it's crazy. I can't even explain it to you. But I've kind of always saw it as a gift, because I think without it, I would probably be dead. You know, I think I would probably be dead. But the last couple of years, you know, like I said, I mean, when I sort of found my own peace and I moved back to where I was, you know, originally from in Ireland, everything just was peaceful. And then COVID hit, and I started losing a lot of my friends over in the mainland. I started losing a lot of my friends, started dying of different things, cancer, and, you know, just the worst time, really. And then my friend Julia went missing. You guys know about Julia. Oh, okay, we called her Juju or Julie. She went missing and she was murdered. She was chopped up into pieces and thrown in the canal. And that was the first kind of real big trigger I'd had in a long time. We all have a protect the true purpose. Every one of us do, you know. I mean, the doctors say to me sometimes that they can't explain some of the things that I come out with. It cannot be explained, you know. So you kind of believe whatever you want to believe, but I believe it is spiritual as well. You know, I do. You know, whether they're my angels, to me they are my angels because they've took the brunt of everything that I've been through. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here now. You know, so I'm kind of fond of most of them. I really am. You know, but certain things trigger certain things. You know, like I was explaining to Long Gone earlier on. Summer Wells when I kind of got interested in, well, I was straight away, you know, with the Summer Wells case, and it hit me straight away, and it hit me because Molly kept coming forward continuously, which is the youngest one, you know, and it was continuous, and it was as though it was just playing on my mind continuously, and I kind of, you know, I can't explain. I'm not going to say anything because I don't, you know, I am classed as being mad because of my DOD, but to me, again, I feel like it's a spiritual thing, you know, and, you know, I get shown things and, you know, you feel things and stuff and you can't explain it. You can't explain what's going on at the time, but it's your body switch, it's your brain switching, even depending on what kind of situation. If I was to be going to a meeting and I was feeling stressed, I would feel like Mary or something coming forward, which is like the stern, motherly kind of, you know, sensible one, and she would come forward and she would take over there and kind of thing, and then I had my nan. My nan has always been with me, always since she passed away. She never left. And this is again what they don't understand with my DLD in particular is that normally it's not your alters are not real people. You know, they're just branches of your brain that has, you know, kind of split. But my nan has always been there, always in there with the rest of them since she passed away. You know, and Vicky as well. That was my friend that I was with, and she was killed in a road accident. We was crossing the road, and she put her head out by the bus, and the bus car came, hit her, and almost took her head off her shoulders. You know, and that was so traumatic. We was maybe 12 or 13 at the time, and again, that was really traumatic. But it's Vicky never kind of left me either. You know, she kind of comes forward a lot, and it's mad because, you know, how is that even possible? You know, that's what I said to the doctors. How is that even possible if it's not real people? You know, my nan and Vicky was real people. You know, how can that be? You know, so it's complex. I've had nurses and doctors say to me as well, you know, if you believe in the spiritual aspect of life, then, you know, maybe it is something, you know. But all I know, it's I've been around a lot of people that have a lot of mental health problems, and they can be really self-destructive, or the problem that they're dealing with, whether it's personality disorder or manic depressant or, you know, anything like that. It's different because, you know, it's scary. They have no control over the brain. But with me, because mine started at such a very, very young age, it's been there all my life. I've always had it, you know, always had it. And I think it's because my first kind of childhood memory was of abuse. That's why I've always had it. So, you know, I've never been frightened of it, and it was never something that I thought was out of the ordinary because My mum's side of the family was Irish travellers, you know, and spiritual and, you know, clairvoyance and things like that. It was in my family. My grandma was, my great grandma was, you know. So when I used to say, I used to, you know, hear things, or you know, I'm feeling things, because it was never seeing things unless I was closing my eyes and kind of meditating as such. My grandma, who basically raised me to a good age, she just used to tell me it was because we were special, you know, and not to be frightened of it, and never to be frightened of dead people, you know, always be frightened of the people that I'm alive. She always used to say that to me. So I never had no fear of anything like that, you know. I was never, you know, I was never, just that fear was not there. In fact, when it started happening, it was comfort. It was never fear. It was pure comfort. It was warming, and it was gentle, and it was comforting. It wasn't scary, you know. It didn't start to get scary until maybe I was in my, you know, mid-teens. But that was because I became very self-destructive, you know, and that part of me branched off to be another kind of personality, I suppose. It's weird because every time you detach, you know, somebody else can appear. This is what they said. There could be, you know, 40, 50, you know, I don't know. I don't know. All I know are the ones that I feel with me all the time. Of course, you can ask me a question, Tamara. Of course you can. No, you can answer. Yeah, I'll answer a question. Thank you as well, True Purpose. Thank you very much. It's, you know, it's it's rare. It's a rare illness, but it's not as rare as what I first expected it to be. No, it's okay, Tamara. You can ask me anything. it, it's weird. It's weird. You know, it is weird. The feeling that I get, I can't explain it. Okay, so I remember watching Ghost when I was younger, and you see where Patrick Swayze jumps into Whoopi Goldberg's body or something. It's like you get that kind of feeling, and then sometimes I'm aware, you know. Not usually, no, Tamara. Not usually, no. Sometimes I do. Sometimes people come forward, and then I'll never see them again, you know. But that's normally because I'm around somebody, and it feels as though I'm picking, you know, some sort of energy up. I don't know, and then I feel as though somebody's coming forward, and you know, I kind of, I can hear them, you know, clearly, and they're different from everybody else. I can kind of tell what age they are, what gender they are, you know, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it's as though they're just giving me a message and they go, you know. And it's normally pretty accurate. And it's happened a lot of times when I've been in the hospital and in the doctors and stuff. This is what the doctors have said sometimes, that it's complex and it's really difficult for them to understand because they go by science, you know. But if you're going by science and you're looking at DID, then you have to understand it starts from one personality, you know, and it has to split because your brain cannot take things. So personalities that you develop into are not normally, you know, people that you've lost. They're just normally people that your brain kind of makes up, you know. Yeah, that's exactly right, Luna. That's exactly right. But sometimes I've been in situations where I've been lost, you know, that happens. And you're kind of lost in your own mind, you know, and you're trying to come back. It's really weird. And again, it's like the Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze thing. It's like I need to get back inside of myself to bring, you know, I can see what's going on, but I can't, I can't take myself back. If you, you know, if you can understand what I mean. No, I can't stop. I've got the dominant personality that I think's the most dominant one would be Mary, and she was the one that came around because I didn't have really a relationship with my mother. So Mary was kind of the one that protected me when I was being abused, and that kind of thing. She would have been, I think, the second one that came. Molly was the first. She was the little girl that I used to protect, and I think that was a way of me coping. I needed to protect him, um, but maybe the way I'm compassionate, the compassionate part of me just wanted to protect somebody else. So this is how Molly came around, and Molly, again, I've told you guys, was the little girl that was in Orphan Annie that she used to stick up for, the little orphan, and she stayed, and then Mary came about then, and she was like the adult, and it was she was I think I probably would have died if it wasn't for that one. Um, but as I was going through life, Mary's definitely the protector. See, I can't. If she comes forward, she comes forward, but she comes forward in a way where I can control it. You know, Molly's very hard. It's hard to kind of control with Molly because it's like a little girl shouting in your ear hole, and she is a little girl, and it's more of that she doesn't really come forward as much as she's shouting all the time, and she's telling me things and she's warning me, and or she's scared, stuff like this, and I can have her for 2 or 3 days being scared, you know. Um, it's thank you, Hooves. It's one of those things where, again, it depends on what your beliefs are, you know. I do firmly believe that I've got DOD and my personality is split. I do believe that. I can't explain how Vicky and my grandma stayed with me after they passed. I cannot explain that, but they come forward as one of my personalities. They come forward as my personalities as well. My nan, I would hear a lot. She was one that died of cancer when I was really young. But she kind of wakes me up out of these kind of trances, or I suppose when somebody comes forward, and it's always the same way. Like when that domestic violence situation happened, and I was literally left for dead. The way my nan always comes forward is it's though she's sitting on the end of my bed saying, "Come on, Stella, wake up, wake up," and then that brings me around. So maybe that's why my nan's there. Maybe that's why she's there. Yeah, I've got a guy as well, Luna. I've got a man as well. He would be very protective with my children, and that kind of thing. He would have probably been. I think he came around maybe when I was 12 or 13 or something. But he was the guy. He was the man, the big man. And he just gave me the fight. how I was diagnosed is when I was young, when I was first in the care homes, we didn't really, there wasn't much of like ADHD and all that kind of stuff out there at the time. And I wasn't outcoming saying that what was going on, when I was younger. They diagnosed me at one time with schizophrenia when I was very young. But that was debunked when I was about 17. And then they said I had a borderline personality at that point. But at that point, I had my daughter, and I was so scared of losing my daughter that I didn't want to come out and say what was going on. So I kind of kept it, inside. It was really hard because, I don't know how I did it. I think my oldest one, Mary, I think she took over a lot of the time, or a lot of the time. I was actually diagnosed with dissociative disorder when I was around 30. The doctors at first, I eventually, my children had started to grow up. I mean, I was a mother from the age of 16. But I was going through a lot at the time because, the dad had just been done for murder, and I was suffering quite bad. I could feel myself. There was just times that I just wasn't there at all. I could see what was going on, but I just wasn't there. I wasn't there mentally. So I went to the doctors then, and but I wasn't forthcoming with exactly what was going on. So they kind of diagnosed me with some sort of depression and put me on depression tablets as I do, and then it went to bipolar, and I was put on. Because basically what was happening as well is a lot of the times when I was going to the psychiatrist, different personalities was coming forward, I think, and they thought it was just me being manic. And I dealt with that because they didn't question my parenting at all, so I kind of bluffed most of it. I was always medicated on different kind of medication, but I wasn't afraid of most of the people that was here. It was just the one that was more destructive, and I knew that as long as I didn't drink and do stupid things like take stupid drugs and things like that, that person just wouldn't come out. When I hit about 36, I started to be a bit more open with the doctors because the medication that I was on wasn't working. No, I would have been about 34, sorry. Medication wasn't working. I was having like severe amnesia. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with it as well, it's an hard thing to actually diagnose as well. It's only because of that, me having therapy and them getting hold of my social services records and stuff like that they saw, the abuse and what I'd gone through so much as a child. Based on that and based on the fact that when I was going in, I was like a different person every time. They started talking to me about me dissociating, and I just broke down. And I don't know. I think it was probably Molly that come forward. and the doctors was just astounded, and that was it. That was it. I was diagnosed. And once I was diagnosed, I was relieved. I was really relieved, because I was getting to the point where I was thinking I was getting like early dementia or something like that, because I was losing time at this point. I would lose hours upon hours upon hours, and I not know where the time had gone. But it was always when my children was around, when my children was at school, they'd be at high school or college or whatever at the time. That's when I was starting to get quite bad, when I was, if I was on my own at any point, and I started stressing about something, it was getting kind of out of control. Me having to do the murder trial as well. I mean, that when that came in, then different people was coming forward then, but I'm not sure. It gets confusing. It really does. I mean, it comes to a point where you have to look at it like, okay, when does it start becoming scientific and start becoming spiritual? And sometimes I believe that the ones that come forward that I don't know, maybe they're brought forward by the more dominant ones, and they're there to give me a message. And it's just, sometimes it's things like that. Sometimes I have dreams, and I realise that it wasn't a dream, it actually happened, but I thought I was asleep. It's strange. I've had out-of-body experiences more times than, it would happen to me on a nightly kind of, a nightly occurrence, sometimes during the daytime as well. I felt as though I was completely projecting out my own body. I could do that. I could actually do that from a really young age, and I can't explain that, yeah. Yeah, it does sound like that. It does sound like that, tattoos and unicorns. The kind of, when you start telling people that you're hearing voices, the first thing I think is schizophrenia, But when I actually found out about schizophrenia and what it was, I was like, no way. And, apparently I was in denial. But I knew it wasn't schizophrenia. I wasn't hearing voices coming out the TV or at the radio or at the events or seeing things. It wasn't like that. It was just as though, I don't know, do you ever get this feeling, when somebody tells you something and from head to toe, you tingle from head to toe, and it's like somebody's just trod over your grave. That's what happens to me. It's like, and it can be constant. And then it can be for 10 minutes. It can be for 10 hours. It can be for 10 days. And sometimes people don't even realise, And then it's my grandma that kind of brings me back forward. She's the one that kind of brings me back. Deja vu, yeah. Yeah, I get a lot of that as well. I get a lot of that. Where is the person that hurt you? I'd love to, but he's dead now. I think he suffered. He suffered. Unfortunately, I probably wasn't the first, and I wasn't the last. Back then, I mean, if you're going back like to nearly 40 years ago, which it was, things like this used to get brushed under the carpet, and people didn't want to, talk about it, and it was a disgraceful thing, and it would make this is the only way I can explain it. How I managed to live a partly normal life is the fact that they took my pain. That's the only way I can explain it. And if that's a debilitating mental illness, I would rather live. I would rather live with this than without it. You know, I can kind of be in an empty room sometimes. I was explaining, I think it was to Langon earlier on. I can be in an empty room sometimes, and it can feel like the room's full. You know, and sometimes everybody's talking at the same time, and that's when it can get confusing, and I kind of lose balance. I have to kind of, you know, get back into my own head and just say, hang on a minute. it's it takes a lot to be able to understand it. You know, it's only probably this last 5 years where I've really understood it, and I've managed to kind of keep control of it and know, you know, who my dominant personalities would be. As I say, I mean, they reckon that people with my condition can have hundreds of alters, hundreds. I don't really believe that as such. You know, maybe in really, really severe cases, there's a lot, but I believe a lot of them are just passing. I don't believe that they stay. You know, they're just there to pass on a message to you, or to sometimes it's a message to somebody else. You know, and then I'll kind of feel a bit awkward, but sometimes it's a warning to somebody, and I'll put it through as a warning from me rather than just say, you know, one of my alters told me to tell you this. It sounds a bit crazy when you say it like that. But I've never saw them as kind of alters, as I said. I for a long time, and I was explaining this to the doctors that, you know, and I still believe that they're my angels. You know, they are my angels. Yeah, it is. It is. You know what though? Like I says, it is. Once you understand it, and once you know, once you understand it, you start realizing you're not crazy. You know, that this happens and how it happens, and they, you know, take you back to the very beginning, and to where it very first started. And as I said, I mean, when Molly came about, I used to talk about her to everybody, and nobody used to think anything of it. It'd be like, oh, she's got an imaginary friend, or, you know, this kind of stuff. Because I was so young, nobody ever thought anything of it. But it was crazy. She kind of kept me occupied when things bad was happening. You know, I was looking after her while somebody else was looking after me. That's the only way I can explain it. Does that make sense? Or do I just sound like I'm crazy rambling? Yeah, I had to look after Molly while somebody else was looking after me. That's exactly what was going on. Sometimes I don't like the things that come forward. You know, I don't like it at all, because sometimes it's kind of, you get the feeling that comes with the person. You know, if you're an empathetic person, I can pick up somebody's energy just by maybe touching them or something. Hang on 1 second, just 1 second. Sorry. It's my son's friend has just popped round for him. Okay, so my son, he understands. Yeah, my son understands. He has autism as well, but he knows, and he's fully aware of what's going on. My daughters are kind of that they believe it's spiritual. They don't believe that I should be taking medication for it. And to be honest with you, I just take the medication I need to stop certain people kind of coming through. Hang on 1 second again. So yeah, it kind of, it's strange. It's strange. The protector would in me as well would come out if I ever thought my kids was upset, or I'd be dragging parents and all sorts of stuff, and I wouldn't remember. I'd be like the Hulk if anybody ever, so much as lifted a hand and to any of my kids. I was crazy. It makes sense, and let's read. I'm just going to read this comment. It makes sense. All the yeah, it does sound like it. Tattoos and unicorns. It does sound like it. If you want to reach out to me via email, I'm more than happy to give you my telephone number if you want to talk, or your mum needs to talk. I'm more than happy to talk to her. It's not something, you see. Even though I was kind of in my 30s when I got a diagnosis, I didn't know what I had at all. I didn't know. I just thought I was either crazy, or these was just spiritual people. And when I found out, I was actually being, it was changing in me, and everything was changing, things was being took over. And just excuse me 1 second. Is that the dog? It was difficult. It was really difficult. But it was, as I say, it's always been a coping mechanism. But I think when I first had the diagnosis, everything just made sense. That's the only way I can explain it. Tattoos and unicorns. When I finally they got to the core of what was, what caused it the very first time, and they said that normally people with DID are either victims of RSA or very early on sexual abuse, very young. Mostly, a lot of the people that are diagnosed, unfortunately, are RSA victims, and that's the saddest thing about it. I mean, there's so much in my life I don't remember. I think so much happened to me, so much more happened to me than I can remember. I can't. It's just, I'm glad I don't remember a lot of it. I'm glad I don't. Sometimes things come back in dreams. Sometimes, and I wake up and I'm like, I just know it. I know it was real, that it happened. And then, I might have to go for a few days of being like really upset because I'm remembering something that was really bad. Or something's reminded me of something that wasn't there anymore. It was scary. It was at times. But once I was diagnosed, they give me medication because, as I say, there's one of us that would be really destructive. See what it says, Lynn, I guess. Let's see. Oh, right. Yeah, that's giggled. Oh, right. Let's see. Yeah, I think tattoo and unicorns, that it has to be brought under control pretty. You have to kind of get control of yourself at a really young age. I mean, I saw other people that have got my illness, and they are really bad. They have no control over their self at all. They can just, personalities will just come forward and they're just completely different. My voice changes when certain people come forward. Mary's very conservative and she speaks very well, like I am doing now. you know, there's part of her coming forward now while I'm talking. When Molly comes forward, it's really giggly, you know. But it's a bit like I say, I love all of them, and I've learned to love all of them, and I'm glad I was diagnosed when I did. They're saying his box was right good. Good. That's nuts. That was funny though. Yeah, that sounds like paranoia. This is the difference, I think, with DID. I think though actually, people have been diagnosed with DID and schizophrenia. I think, you know, just because you're schizophrenic doesn't mean to say you can't have DID. You know, if she went through a really traumatic past, then her personalities would have split. But she sounds like that there's if she's really paranoid about things like that, that it probably is schizophrenia as well, you know. But then again, if she's got DID, it could be one of her alters that is like that, you know. Oh, it's terrible. If you ever need to reach out, Tattoos and Unicorns, just please just email me, and I'd be more than happy to speak with you. I can't explain it. Trigger words, grounding. I was explaining the other day. There's grounding techniques that I'll do. And it sounds crazy, right? But it works. Like I will take my socks and shoes off and walk through the mud and just stand there for a little bit, and it grounds me. It brings me around a little bit, you know. It's like I can't explain it. I really can't. Different people have different grounding techniques, but mine would be that to like kind of walk out in the rain, or sit out with the stars, or walk in the mud, walk in the sea. You know, it's like as though with my grounding, it starts with my feet. I have to just certain things. When I start to feel that something's coming forward, yeah, I can go and ground and stop it, kind of thing. But then again, certain ones I can't, like Mary. You know, nobody can really tell if it's me or her. Sometimes Mark does. He can tell a little bit. He gets a bit worried sometimes when I have blackouts, because sometimes I forget everything. I have no memory of anything. I don't know my name. I don't know his name. I don't know my dog's name. I don't know my kid's name. I know nothing. And I'll be like that for a while. And it's as though I'm stuck in my own brain and I can't come out. That happens. It's as though my brain's completely paralysed. But, you know, nobody's come forward and I'm stuck in my own head. That's what it's like. Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, Tattoos and Unicorns. Grounding techniques amazing for people that suffer with anxiety, panic attacks. You know, I mean, even standing in a puddle with no shoes and socks on. You know, and just stupid little things like that. I always believe that, you know, nature will bring you back down. Anyway, you know, if you believe the way I believe, you know, in God and the spiritual world. You know, I believe that God is everything. He is the sun, the moon, the air we breathe, the earth we walk on. God is not a person, you know. God is just everything. And to be close to that, you know, it's an energy, and that energy can just bring you back. And it's amazing, you know. But I don't regret. I don't kind of I'm glad I found out when I found out, because I think if I found out when I was younger, I wouldn't have known how to deal with it, you know. I dealt with the diagnosis far better when I was in my 30s, because I was able to kind of, you know, do my own research, and everything started to make sense. and it was as though I had a big, massive relief, like a big weight had been lifted off my shoulders. You know, I'm not crazy. You know, I'm not being haunted. You know, I know why it's happened and how it's happened, and it's but the medication that I take now. To be honest with you, I take amitriptyline for to relax the muscles in my brain. I have diazepam if I need them on a night time. And then I have an antipsychotic, but the only reason I have to take that is to kind of keep them under control. If I don't, then I can go into psychosis quite quickly. You know, within a couple of days, I start to lose control of myself, and it's quite scary then. I lose control more so since I've been medicated, because before I was medicated, I learned to live with it, and then when they started medicating me, if I stopped taking medication, it was as though it come back full force. You know, it was just like whoa. Whereas before it was just a constant flow, and it was harder to deal with if I didn't take my medication. So that's why I have to do that. You know, if I could live my life without, you know, having to take tablets for my illness, I would. But I have to, you know, be responsible for the fact that I have one of them that I know inside of me that's really destructive, you know, and that one does really destructive things, you know, like I hurt myself, not nobody else, you know. If that one comes forward, I have pulled like lumps of my own hair out, pulled my eyelashes all out. It's just real bad cuts, you know. I'd wake up and I would just be covered. My legs would be covered in cuts, just everywhere. And you know, I kind of wake up and it was like a bloodbath, and I didn't know, you know. But that one very rarely ever comes out. But it's if I drink, you know, and stuff like that. So that's why I don't do it. I don't. Do you have been a nurse, Tamara? Have you ever had to deal with anybody like me before? It is a rare illness in the sense. I mean, doctors here are absolutely fascinated by it. You know, when I go into the hospital, it's not just one therapist that comes in. It's a psychiatrist. I get student doctors. You know, because it's a really complex kind of thing, and they're very interested in it. You know, yeah. That's the thing as well. I mean, I've had medication in the past that has made me really, you know, not feel good at all, and it's made me worse. And I think it takes a while to find that balance. But until I had a proper diagnosis, I wasn't being treated for the right thing. Thank you, Out Forever. AAP. I'd love you to go back to the beginning and listen to tonight. It'd be great. But I love it. It's great you made. So yeah, you know, I mean, when I go to the hospital tomorrow, I think I'm under hypnotherapy for an hour. They're kind of, I don't understand the point of it myself, to be honest with you, but I think they bring people forward, and then aching me, it comes out then. It comes out. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But yeah, definitely go back to the start and have a look. Look, guys, I am going to get off early tonight because I'm at the hospital tomorrow. And I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll just do a really quick live just to let you all know I'm okay. And Tattoos and Unicorns, if you want to email me and you want to tap my number, you know, if you feel like you're struggling or you want to call, just give me a call. and I can help the best I can. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it does. It does. Um, I said at the beginning, sometimes I felt like maybe I did it for selfish reasons, setting up the channel, because I believe that kind of you guys help me as much as I help you, and that's what it is. That I think knowing that you're not on your own and people actually, you're in a room now with people that are understanding. When you're explaining, they understand, that's okay. That's okay. And that's what I love, that's what it's about. I want for people to be aware of it, because, people are living the lives, not realizing that they have this, and it can become debilitating, tattoos and unicorns, and it can get worse. And, different personalities can have different things, one personality can, I've known people that have got an alter that has been diabetic, and crazy things like that. It's nuts. How different, people, different alters all come forward. But luckily, look, like I say, mine are kind of under control, so it's a good thing. But look, guys, I am going to go because Kimmy, I'm at the hospital tomorrow, so I need a good look from you. But yeah, I mean, if I feel okay tomorrow, I will come on. Yeah, I'm in the hospital tomorrow, Kimmy. I have to go into the doctors tomorrow. 2-hour appointment with my therapist and psychologist. So I'm looking forward to that. I just hope they don't keep me there. Oh gosh. No, they're normally quite good. They're normally quite good for me. Are you having the needle in the butt, Kimmy? I'm waiting for that to start happening to me, to be honest. I think they're about to change my medication again, though, Kimmy. So, get ready for a meltdown. But I love you guys a lot anyway, and thank you again for tonight. Everybody loves Kimmy. She's the best. She always cheers me up as well. Right, guys, I am going to go. Thank you, True Purpose. And thank you, Tattoos and Unicorns. And, I'm glad that you got a little bit of insight and you can kind of get to understand a little bit more. I think that's the thing that, is if you can understand mental illness, it makes you more compassionate towards, the people that are going through it. And that's, kisses to you, Kimmy. That's the most important thing, That's the most important thing, is that you can put that awareness out and people know that they're not on their own. Oh, no, I'm not on my own. I've got Kimmy in the chat here with me now. Me and Kimmy are really good friends. She's got a great story as well, but she's an amazing woman. She really is. But God bless everybody anyway. And I just I hope it reaches somebody that needs it. If you need me, unicorn, just email me. And thank you, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow for a quick one. Good night and God bless. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna just say as well, thank you. I've had a couple of things been bought as well on the wish list. I just wanted to say thank you. I know, yes, Ernie. Yeah, of course you are, sweetheart. Bye. Right. Good night and God bless everybody. I'll see you soon.